Okay. Welcome back to Feelspeak, where we speak what we feel every day, 365. What's good, guys? Got the homie Emily on.
Hi. Hello.
No, you gotta look at me.
Oh, okay.
Not at the camera. We're having a combo.
Okay.
Okay,
Let
so
me put this on silent. Sorry. Go.
I'm having you on because I consider you an alpha female, I think, but I don't know you that well, so I guess I can't really go off of that. But kind of give us like a background of like your not your whole life, but like who are you? Where are you from? What are you into?
Okay. My name is Emily. I am originally from Boxford, Massachusetts, which is 30 minutes north of Boston. I lived there for 17 years, and then I moved to Johns Creek. I went to high school, and then...
Johns Creek has that dope Whole Foods.
It does. It does have a nice Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college at Georgia State, and...
I dropped out.
And no, I finished with
No, I didn't.
Oh.
You probably... Yeah, good job.
I finished with an economics degree and a Italian minor. I also have a passion for Italian culture, and I try to travel as often as I can. I spent every summer of college in Italy, and then since college, I've just been like, wherever I can go, if I have the money, go. And I'm the same way with like, I guess, we were talking about music festivals earlier.
Yeah.
Whenever I have money, I just like spend it on experiences because...
As opposed to like things?
Like, I live in the shittiest apartment. Like,
I mean, look where we are right now.
Yeah, no, my apartment actually has a puddle in it right now because
What
the
is that?
ceiling leaks and it's like kind of falling on me a little bit, but it's cheap and yeah.
Gets the job done. You just
It
gotta sleep
does.
under it.
Right?
That's cool. Wait, so no, I stalked you on Instagram a little bit, and you put like all this like effort into like these ass costumes, or not costumes, but
For
you
festivals?
put together this like
Oh, yeah.
really cool shit.
And the worst part is you can only wear them once.
Mm-hmm.
You can...
Wait, well, you can wear them. You can't wear them all weekend. Oh, I guess you guys switch it up.
What I'm saying is like, if I have like a robot costume, I can wear that once, and then I literally just, it will sit in my closet, because if I ever wear it again, someone will be like, oh my gosh, I remember you wore that at whatever.
And
it's
that'll be
like,
weird.
well, I don't know. There's like a no repeat rule. It's not a real rule, but you know how
It's
girls
a non-spoken
are.
rule,
Yeah. So.
Well, it kind of reminds me of like, people don't wear shirts with logos on them because it's like, oh, you wore the like all-star. Oh, those are the all-star shirt that you always wear.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. I guess.
So that's why people just wear like,
Yeah.
more plain clothes.
Yeah.
No, but that's cool. Have you ever been to like Dragon Con or like any conventions and stuff?
No, but
'Cause it
they
seems like you would do
sound
that.
like the same thing as a music festival, because like, of course we're there for the music, but like, it's also an adult playground where you can drink whatever you want, do whatever you want.
Mhm.
So I've heard that like Dragon Con and those other like conventions are very similar, where it's like open bars and just people,
Mingling.
drinking and having fun.
There's panels and like shit like that, but the lines are so long that it's like you might as well just chill in the 4 hotel lobbies and like meet new people with your costume on, and network or whatever. But dude, that's so. How do you feel about the negative connotation towards like festivals? Like the people that go there.
I don't know. I mean, they probably have never been to one, so they don't know. Like, obviously, you can do it sober, and it's still so much fun. Like, the one I was just at last week, the first night I was sober, and I was probably the most lit person in the crowd. Like, I was jumping and screaming, but it's also because it's like you're fangirling over people that you listen to all the time, and the fact that you can get so close, like at Shaky Beats when Dylan Francis came, or when he was playing, I almost climbed on stage. Like,
would he kick you off?
I don't know, but I kept telling my friend, I was, inebriated, and I kept telling my friend who was with me, I was like, he wants to meet me, but really, I just wanted to meet him. I came very close to meeting him once, though, in Vegas. I went to a small show that he did, and his, like, manager was like, you want to come on stage? And I was like, can my friends come? And he was like, no, just you. And I was like, that sounds like something a serial killer would say. So.
No, I know what you mean. Like, when I was at Shaky, so I went to Shaky, I went to Music Midtown. I snuck into everything. I snuck into Dragon Con, I snuck into Shaky, I snuck into Music Midtown. I'm not tooting my horn. I'm the shit. So I went to Shaky is way better than Music Midtown. I don't know if you went.
Because Music Midtown, the people suck.
They do.
Because they're not plur.
What's that?
Peace, love, unity, respect. So it's like plur is just like the law at festivals. Like
it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like a festival. It felt like a bunch of teenagers and like other people that are just like but like not hyped
like,
up.
So I went to Music Midtown maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, and going through the crowd, completely different from actual music festivals. At actual festivals, you're allowed to walk through the crowd and people are like fine with it. They're like, yeah, girl, go up there, get it. As long as you don't stand in front of me, whatever. And then when I was at Music Midtown, people were so rude. They were like, get back. And I'm like, what? Am I not allowed to stand closer? Like, there's no seats. I don't know. People are just, it's like normal.
Yeah. No, it's weird because this one dude was telling me at my job, he doesn't work there anymore, but he was saying that he went to Shaky one year, like 3 years ago or something, and some person had like this big plaque board, and it was like write whatever you want on it, and some girl, like, you know how like when you're in the moment, I don't know if you've been to a music festival, and like the music is like hitting and everyone is just like on one accord.
Yes.
And then, shout out to Champ for that on one accord. They're just like, some girl walked up to the sign and wrote, "We are all one, we are a family," and like everyone was just like.
But that's how real festivals are, because you can. Okay, so my first EDC, I lost my GoPro, and I thought someone had stolen it because I assumed, someone would steal an expensive camera. This girl watched the videos on it and looked at me in the videos and then looked through the like hashtags from EDC that year, the locations, and like found a picture with my face on it, and she was like, hey, is this camera yours? I found it. And I was like,
fucking
yeah,
crazy.
What the heck? She's like, can I send it to you? And like sent me little candies too. Like, it's those kind of people who are really just there to have fun and have a good time, and they want you to have a good time too. Like people who are like, yeah, take my alcohol, yeah, take this. Like, I want you to have a good time too, because I'm having a good time.
I want the best. I want the best thing for me that's good for everyone else.
Yeah, as a whole, for us all to have a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Bruh, that's sick. Makes me want to go to one now, because I've never been to any of the EDC things or anything. Yeah. I've only ever been to Shaky. That was like my only music festival. EDC's a little more lit.
Oh my gosh, it's like the pros. Not Orlando, but EDC Vegas is like the second best that you can get to a music festival. First is Tomorrowland, sorry, in Boom, Belgium. Like, that is...
It's in Belgium?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
And people go from all around the world. But people from all around the world go to EDC Vegas, too. It's just, like, a little bit cheaper and easier if you're American. So,
yeah.
But still, like...
Yeah, dude, music festivals are funner than Dragon. Like, Dragon Con's cool, but music festival, because of the music, like, it just, the vibe is just there. Yeah. But no, when I asked you about the negative connotation, I wasn't talking about drinking. Like, people are like, oh, they do LSD, they do cocaine, they do all this crazy shit, and they sleep around or whatever, they have sex at the place.
If you're having sex at a music festival, that is disgusting. Do you know how
Have you ever seen it?
I mean, I'm sure it's happened. I've heard of people doing it, but you're so gross. Like, so my friends and I do this thing. It's pretty gross, but the last day of the festival, we take a Q-tip, ears, nose, like everything, and it's black. It's just like
black. Yeah, because you sleep there at the ones, you go to like the lit ones where you sleep there.
Yeah, okay. And you're just covered in dirt. And yeah, they have showers, but honestly, I don't know how many people are actually showering. So
does it smell?
It smells in the crowd. Yeah. So sometimes when DJs are like, put your hands up. I'm like, ew, you all stink. Actually, at EDC Orlando, they were handing out perfume. They were handing out little perfume samples to people because
they need to do that at nerd conventions because it's not even that, they just don't use
shower.
Yeah, or shower.
Here it's a lot of sweaty people.
Yeah, there it was sweaty, so it's like justified.
Yeah.
Damn. But no, so I got you. Okay, so festivals were the shit. I got you on because, dude, I don't know, like, so I don't know. You know who Jordan Peterson is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's my homie. He's over there. His book's over there, 12 Rules for Life. But he just kind of talks about how like intelligence and conscientiousness like are like really good, and they like in terms of like the work. When you're working in a job, if you're intelligent and conscientious means like orderly and industrious. Industrious means you're kind of like, if you're industrious, you can't stop doing things. You feel like you always need to be doing something. And then orderly is like your sensitivity to disgust. So like, oh, the kitchen looks like shit, right?
Yeah.
But who's going to notice it first, me or David? Whoever notices first is more orderly because, you know. So I thought of you as like, I know that you're like a manager at a retail spot. We're not going to say the name. But I know like people might think like that's not shit. But like to me, that's fine. Because it shows that like you worked your way up. Like you actually give a fuck. And then you told me that you had this meeting. And then I kind of thought like, I've been thinking about this for a while. I actually talked about it with my other friend. Kind of how, sorry, I'm not looking at your face because I'm trying to like think about this. Women, there's like a threshold where like attractive women don't need to be good at things because they're hot, so they'll just have everything passed to them. Because like you kind of, when you first came in, you were like, yeah, you know, I got this good opportunity because he wants me to like model, but you're like, I want to do more than that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's kind of like I can see echoes of that in your life. And then, I don't know, I wanted to know your take on that. Because I've been thinking about it for a minute. Because we'll go to bars on the weekend, like to Buckhead, and like, some of these girls are pretty shallow.
Yeah.
They just live for the turn up. Or maybe it just seems like that.
I mean...
But, nah, it really doesn't seem like that. It's really true.
Well, no. Also, when you're in college and you're like, oh, well, so-and-so will give me a free drink, so I'm going to make sure that I don't pay for drinks all night. I'm going to talk to this guy so that I don't have to pay for a drink, and then I'm just going to run away and leave him. Like, I was in that position at one point, too. But...
So to criticize it is...
Yeah, but then you kind of grow up. Once you're out of college and you're around, I guess, adults, or at least people who aren't just fucking around all the time, or like, not scamming, but sometimes girls do scam. Like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with this person.
It's not really scamming. It's just like falsifying your speech and your actions in the service of like whatever.
But like, if they want to hang out with somebody because, oh, well, they have a really nice apartment and we want to pregame there. Or like, they're gonna text this guy because they want to get invited to that party, or like something like that. Like, I used to do that too, but once you're not around that and you're like an adult, I guess. Not that I think I'm an adult, because I know I'm not, but I think you realize you're above it and you don't need to beg for things because you're like cute or whatever. But yeah, but I definitely like was one of those girls.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to roast it. I just wanted to know your opinion on it. I think, well, truthfully, it's just kind of like, I don't know, maybe I need to switch up where I go on the weekends, but I find that these girls have no depth to them.
Yeah.
Or they're trying, maybe they do, and it's just hidden, but it's just like, the hype is more important than like anything that's like meaningful.
Yeah.
And that's why it's why I wanted to kind of have Robbie on too, because Robbie's kind of like, I feel like I surround myself with people who kind of like pursue just like the short-term hype type shit. And I don't think that it's bad in any way, but it's just kind of like, it's not my thing anymore. It's kind of like how me and my friend had like kind of like a crossroads where like we hang out, but like when we're with people, but like we don't really vibe alone because we don't have the same like set of
hobbies, interests, values. Like those are what build relationships.
Yeah.
So if I can be friends with this person without going out, drinking, like doing something.
But it's not even that. If that's what they want to do and that's what you built your relationship off of, then that's fine.
Yeah, that is true. But I guess kind of you should have people who have the same interests and values around you. But I know what you're saying. Like, I have groups of friends. I have friends that literally we just travel together outside of the country. That is what we do together. I have other friends who I just go to festivals with, and those two groups don't really like mix a lot because I don't know.
They're
why.
different. Yeah. No, you have different groups of friends. Like I have nerd friends, and then I have like non-nerd friends.
Yeah.
Like I have some friends where like every Dragon Con, MomoCon, or Anime Week in Atlanta that comes around, I'll chill with them. Like no questions asked. And then like I won't really hang out with them outside of that. It's not that I don't like them.
Yeah.
It's just that brings us together, that event. We're both passionate about it, and then we hang out. You have the same type of thing.
Yeah. Like music, and then traveling. And then, I mean, going out, I guess that can be like whoever. But it is important to have the friends that you can hang out with without like just getting fucked up.
Yeah. But also, I think the good thing about having the friends that you can hang out with and you get fucked up is they're the least judgmental out of all your friends.
That is so true.
They don't judge you at all.
Oh my gosh. So, whenever you told me about this podcast, I had like kind of been thinking about doing my own. Not that I have one. I don't have one. But because I have a lot of stories. Mm-hmm. When I was that stupid girl who...
Tell one. People want to hear that shit.
Oh my god.
Let's hear one. Because I don't know. Like, I've heard a lot of things about you. And honestly, like, I wanted to have you on because I know that, like, my friend who you just talked to earlier, he slid into your DM and you kind of just left him on scene. And I think that shit's cool. So that's kind of, like, a reason why I wanted to have you on. Other than the fact that I think you're cool as shit, but...
Okay.
Because a lot of girls don't do that.
What do you mean, like just not respond?
No, a lot of girls do not respond. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't want to say.
But also, you have to understand, like, people message me often, and sometimes I'll just like open it and then like forget or just. Not even.
Everyone does that.
Yeah, it happens.
Besides me.
But, yeah.
No, so you said you wanted to tell stories.
Okay, so these stories are hard to think of off the top of your head because usually I don't have my head when I'm doing this stuff. Like, I'm either blackout or...
I do think there's something poetic about like losing your inhibitions and finally being like free, and I do like that because like one of the best nights I've ever had in Buckhead was like when I was like I had like I don't really drink, but like I had like 2 Jaeger Red Bulls, and like that was a lot for me at the time, and I just kind of like didn't give a fudge about anything, and it wasn't like I was that weird dude that was dancing that everyone was looking at and making fun of. That wasn't me, but like I was just like I left my phone somewhere. I was hanging out with like this really cute girl, and like someone returned my phone to me, and I was just like, "Thank you, humanity.
Yes.
You're awesome." Like you said, with the GoPro, and like I didn't do it. I don't think I really did anything crazy, but I just lost my inhibitions. I didn't care about like the time, the place, where my phone was, what was going on.
Yeah, that happens
and I do think
to
it's
me.
cool.
When like you're not thinking about like, oh, I should Snapchat this. Like, this is so cool. This is so fun. Because you're living it. You're like...
Or I have to be at work tomorrow at 10 a.m. And
yeah.
Just not thinking about life in general at all.
Yeah,
that's true. You're just living in the moment. And I do think that's what, alcohol has its uses.
I love it. But it's also... gets you in trouble sometimes.
Oh, true.
All the time, actually.
True statement. A lot of people get fired from my job, actually, for, getting caught doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
But tell me tell me something.
Okay, but some of these are like embarrassing to me. Like,
you got to be vulnerable. It's easier to be closed than it is to be open.
I'm trying to think of one that's like not so bad, but also something like maybe if my mother and father were to hear, they wouldn't be like, oh my god.
If this goes viral,
a lot of these well a lot of my stories, obviously all of them include alcohol, but if I'm at a festival there are other factors.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
So it's like, where do embarrassing drunk moments, like very embarrassing, or like, wow, you did all the drugs. So
I do definitely think you should try everything once.
Yeah.
At least once.
And also, okay, so when you have listened to a song or you've like been somewhere when you were on something,
mm-hmm.
when you hear that song later, you get like that same feeling, like your heart is pounding and you're like, ah, I remember this song because I saw them live, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same thing.
Comes into like alignment.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us.
Bro. Okay.
It's fine. No one's gonna judge you. No one gives.
Okay, so June, I was in Barcelona, or I did like a kind of a tour of Europe. Not a tour. I just picked 3 random cities with the friends that I travel with. So we started in Berlin, and I had no idea Berlin had like an underground club scene, but it's huge. So we went to a club called Sisyphus, and that place was like, it looked like it had like a sandy beach area outside with like tree houses that were all connected, and then like a barn where someone was playing music, and then next to it was a house, well, like a building really, that had 2 floors, and like inside of it were 9 different rooms with different kinds of DJs. Really cool place. So they start the party Friday night. Guess when the party ends?
When did, like...
Monday morning.
No way.
So you can stay there literally like all weekend. And some people do. And at first we were just so excited to like be there. And then I was like, yo guys, I don't know about you, but Molly would be really fun now.
It's going to take that to get you through the weekend.
Well, no, we didn't stay the whole weekend because I know like my limit. And also I'm not a dirty person. I'm not sleeping in the sand or like...
That's where you draw the line?
Yeah, I guess. Sleeping in the sand. Anyway, so we get some pills and they're fire.
So Molly's a pill. Because I heard there's other ways you can take it.
Okay, so there's different kinds. So, like, it can come in a powder, but I usually prefer a pill because I, like, Google the pill report. So there are websites that you can, like, look up the different pills and, like, people's reactions and the, like, dosage, like, the amount of milligrams of MDMA. All the information's on there, and these people are so smart. They put, like, certain colors of glitter in the pill. They put different stamps on it so you can identify it. Like, I had this with this marking, this type of glitter, it was this color. So I look that up and I read the reviews before I take it, obviously. But if it's powder, like, you'd have no idea.
Yeah.
So I prefer
You had a pill that time?
Yes. So my friend was kind of like hanging with this guy, and I was like, yo, can you ask your friend if he can find us Molly, because he's German, so he can speak to someone else. And then he was like, just ask someone. And I just like tapped the next person to walk by, and I was like, hey, do you have Molly? He's like, no, but you can just ask. And he's like, hey, does anybody have Molly? And I was like, what the fuck? And he was asking in English, and people were like, oh, no, sorry, like, blowing my mind. And then someone was like, oh, I think that guy up there, like, is selling it. And it was, like, this guy who's, like, has a few people around him. And my friends kind of send me, well, I guess I kind of volunteered. I was like, but they're like, Emily, you're the most experienced. You got it. Mm-hmm. Here's our money. And so I go, and he's like, hi. I'm like, hi. Do you have Molly? And he's like, sure. And then, like, I buy 3 pills because there's 3 of us.
How much was it? Just wondering.
Probably like €10 a pill, which is so cheap. And for the same pill, I would probably pay $30 here. But there, it's like they have, it's made.
There's a lot of people around. So,
yeah, there's a lot of people who are making it. And also it all comes from Amsterdam where they're like make it and I don't know. But anyway, so I get the pills. We're like, okay, we'll take half because we're not trying to kill ourselves and we don't know what's in here. And then so we take it and it's amazing. It's like...
How long does it take to kick in?
45 minutes.
Oh, so you're just waiting. You're like...
You're not just waiting. You're like surrounded by like good music that you like people, and I'm in another country. Like, this is so cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to remember this for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah. So, what happens? So we have a great night. Whatever. We save it, and then...
You bought 3 pills, though. What do you mean you saved it?
We each took half.
Ah.
So we saved it, and then we went to Barcelona next, and it was my friend Rachel's birthday. So
why is it just conveniently someone's birthday at like
the
perfect time?
So we're in Barcelona, and it's her birthday, and honestly, we were all having kind of like a slow day because we were really tired and jet lagged, and like she spent the whole day sleeping, and when Stephanie and I got back to the hotel or the Airbnb, we were like, do you want to go out? And she's like, yeah, I should. It's my birthday. And I'm like, okay. Like, we try to, like, get a drink in her, get her, rallied, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then finally we're all, like, in a good mood. And I'm like, let's have another drink. Like, let's get, like, a little bit loose before we go. And we just looked up a random club. I had no knowledge of the club. She literally just picked one. I didn't know any promoters. I didn't know anyone. We arrive and we see that there's a line wrapped around the building. I'm like, oh fuck.
Damn.
So I'm like, okay, maybe if I tell the bouncer it's your birthday and like ask about guest list, something like that. So we get out of the Uber. I walk straight up to the bouncer.
You're like the leader in your friend group, aren't you? They asked you to go buy the Molly, and you're like, maybe if I go do the bouncer. They kind of look to you.
Well, I think sometimes I just, like, do it.
Uh-huh. So it's like just a voluntary, it's just like, or it's within you think, like this deeper intrinsic.
Yeah, I guess so. But I've had other friends who are like, yeah, Emily, we do what you want to do because you're, like, the loudest, and you're like, oh, we should all do this. And then I just assume that everyone wants to do it when really, like... Some people didn't. Mm-hmm. But that's when I say, speak up and tell me that you don't want to do something because I want everyone to have a good time. But, so here we are in Barcelona. It's Rachel's birthday. The line is around the building, and I walk straight up to the bouncer, hoping that I can, hoping that he speaks English. And he literally just turns around, looks, opens the gate, in front of all these people, and I'm like, fuck. And we just go.
He just let y'all in?
He just let us in.
Dude, that's what happens when you're hot. That does not work for regular people, bruh. It doesn't work for regular people. There's no way it does. Are your friends hot?
I mean, yeah. My friends are good looking. So,
dude, you think that they would do that for just Joe Schmo?
I don't know.
Why would there be a line if they just were like, fuck it?
I don't know. Like, someone who
You didn't say anything?
I literally didn't say anything. He just looked at us and just was like... And so... But I've had someone who also travels say, oh, sometimes they put fake lines so that it looks hype. And I'm like, okay, I was just trying to tell a cool story.
They were just mad.
Yeah.
They were salty about their own life, and then they projected that.
Yeah. So we go in, and after, like, not having to wait in line or anything, I'm like, sweet. Let's take the second half of our Molly, get waters, maybe one drink, and we'll go dance, whatever. So we send 2 girls to get the drink. Okay.
No, so my sister, like, this plays into the alpha female mentality, like I was saying, because, like, you stick up for yourself, bruh. I understand it's just a girl cutting you in line, but you're just like, nah, excuse me. Nah.
Yeah, like...
It's awkward for you, though, right?
What do you mean?
Is it awkward for you to do that, or no?
No.
So it's just, see? It's, like, just built into you.
I mean, like, if something is bothering me, I'm going to say something.
That's good.
But basically, where I was going with this was that we waited in line, and by the time we were, like, leaving the bathroom, we realized, oh, man, like, I'm, like, a little, and so we wash our hands, and, like, as we're leaving, my friend just, with her purse, just knocks over all of the drinks that were sitting, like, on the where you wash your hands.
Sink area?
The sink. So she knocks over all these glasses, and she, like, turns around and she's like, what? I was like, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here.
Just run away.
We find our other friends, and we're like, okay, let's go into the crowd. My friend starts talking to some dude, and I see this guy walking around, and he's wearing a shirt that says, "Donde es leche?" Where's the milk? And I immediately walk up to him, and I slap him in the face. And he was like, What? I'm so sorry. And I was like, your shirt is disgusting. He's like, I don't even know what this means. And I'm like, yes, you do. You know exactly what you're doing right now. And he's like, I'm sorry. Can I buy you a drink? That kid bought me drinks the rest of the night.
So he's a masochist or whatever? You hit him and then he's just like your best friend because he likes that shit?
Yeah, I guess. And then...
Why did that come over you?
I don't know. Who knows why I do anything?
That's actually crazy. Like, it's legit crazy, but you make it sound like it's so casual. Like, I just slapped him in the face.
I don't know. I didn't like his shirt, so I was like, ah. And then, so yeah, I was like set for the rest of the night, got drinks.
That's chill.
And by the end of the night, I had texted one of my friends, meet me at the beach in Barcelona. Like, that's how that night ended. Like, I was there. But it was really fun. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's my story. I'm not very good at ending stories.
You're on the spot. That's all good.
But yeah.
Dude, that's cool. I mean, you've been all over the place. You said you value experiences more than you value things. And
yes.
I think that
obviously I like things, but...
Are you getting anything for Black Friday?
What do you mean? Like, shopping?
You work at the mall. Is there anything you...
But my discount is better than what I'm...
I know, but there's
like
other places that exist. I don't know if you know that.
I mean, there's things that I want but not necessarily need. I mean... Mm-hmm. I would rather go... I'm planning another trip to Europe in January, so...
How much does it cost to go to Europe?
So I try to find, like, the really cheap deals. I found a plane ticket to Amsterdam, round trip, for $4.55. But that was also, like, a week ago, so I don't know if that's still the price.
How long in advance is that?
January 18th, so maybe, you 2 months.
January. Okay. Yeah. So you have to but that's straight because you're flying overseas, mm-hmm. and it's under 1,000. It's under 500.
Exactly. If it's under 1,000, I'm like,
dude,
okay.
I want to go to Japan. I love Japanese culture.
It's so far away.
It is far away and it's expensive. It's like never cheap. It's cheap to go to Thailand. My mom went to Thailand. My sister went to Thailand.
Oh my gosh. But if you're in California and then fly over, it's much cheaper.
Oh, do they go the other way?
Because California and Japan are like neighbors.
Oh, not on the flat Earth though.
Wait, what?
You ever heard of the flat Earth?
I guess they're on the
Don't
opposite.
worry about it. No, so you're saying California because you just go...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But you've never seen the flat Earth map. You know there's flat Earthers that exist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's all good. It's fun.
I guess that would be like the longest trip. California to Japan.
Yeah. So like I kind of see this like I don't know. So do you not think you're like an alpha female? I'm not trying to like dick ride you, but I had a beta male on, so I'm just trying to like get the all the range, because I just see this. I see this thing in me where it's like you just do things that like are just like it's some intrinsic nature that's in you that's just like, no, I'm not gonna stand up for this bullshit, or like I think it's a lack of agreeableness, and that's what causes you to go up and like you're a manager.
Definitely go with the flow too.
You have experiences. Yeah.
I think I don't want to be an alpha male because
female.
Or sorry.
It's all good, bro. Because I don't think stereotypes. I mean, I don't like the word, but I just need to use it. I don't want to use it.
Because I like to think that I'm like very nice and go with the flow and like about what everyone wants. But my friends have told me that sometimes I do things without even thinking about, what Joe Schmo might want to do. And I'm just like, oh, but everyone would want to do this. Why wouldn't they? And then we just do it. And then they're like, yeah. Like at music festivals, if I'm like, I hate this artist, like, and then they're like, okay, well, who do you want to see? And I'm like, can we go to another set? And then someone is like, damn, I really wanted to see that person.
Does that cause resentment or no?
I don't know. And I get worried about that because I don't want anyone to ever...
But everyone seems to just follow you to the other set, even though some of them don't want to.
I don't know.
So it's something in you.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
I don't mean to, though.
Okay, so about the, I know I'm all over the place, but about the, like, the music festival stuff, and do you see it as, like, a spiritual type, like, metaphysical experience that you're having when you're, like, out and about?
For some people, definitely. For me, it depends. If it's something like a big camping experience where I am there and I have no connection to the outside world,
you're
like
immersed in...
I'm there. That is like a spiritual thing because I am with my friends and we are in this camping experience together for the next 3 days, and you're just around new people who are also doing like the same thing. And like I told you, like the whole player thing is so real.
Yeah.
Like if I forgot, I don't know, if I forgot cups or something, like, and I went over to my neighbor and I was like, hey, like, could you spare a cup or two? Like, we forgot ours. They'd be like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Do you want some of this food that we're cooking? Do you want some of this, some of that? Like, it's such a loving experience from the real world where people are, like, very much like, this is mine, and this is, like, even, like, something as little as calling an Uber with your friends, like, you have to split it, right? But when you're in this other world where it's better to share, there's just no doubt that you would, if anyone asked you for anything, you'd immediately give it up unless you absolutely needed it. Like, I have this much water left and the person next to me asks me for it, I honestly might give it to them, even though I would probably need some later on. Like, it's something like that. Like,
it's certain. I don't want to like overgeneralize it, but it just, because I've felt that, like, I've had intimations of that. I feel like at like Shaky, but I'm not super well like versed in like music festivals. I've been to Iris. Do you consider that kind of like
I've never been, and I don't think it's the same.
Yeah, it's just like a club with like music, but it's still kind of hype. But I don't know, like it's like there's this deeper meaning to like of community that you're trying to describe, and I feel like I felt that at Dragon Con, because not so much because of music and like we're all on one accord, but it's kind of like, look, we all spent money to be here. We're all spending our time to be here, and we all like the same shit.
Yeah. And
everyone is excited, and I don't want to say anxious, but like, you know, we're a little anxious.
No, that makes so much sense. So my two friends, Jess and Ashley, always say this: you spent way too much money to be upset right now. You spent way too much money to be here. You need to live it up. You need to have fun. Even if you know, whatever is going on in your life, forget about it. Leave that at the entrance of the festival because you are here right now to have this great experience. So, like, it's not the real world. You're like, that's why when I was talking about EDC Las Vegas, I was like, it's summer camp on planet Mars because you literally have no connection to the real world. You're in the middle of the desert and you're camping in a place that doesn't have cars. It doesn't have like connection to the rest of, you know, Vegas, but you're just in a campsite doing everything that like all the other little aliens are doing, and it's fun and exciting.
Yeah. Do you believe in like God or like
stuff like
that?
How are we here right now?
Yeah.
I mean, so I was raised Catholic, but I don't necessarily
believe in it that way.
Yeah, like obviously there's a higher power. There's something that brought us here. Like, so that has to be true. It
warms my heart to hear that because the last person I had on kind of disappointed me, but I had to take the video down. Sorry about that. But basically, I was just kind of like, some people just don't. I don't know how you can not believe that something exists when like we're all here. I don't believe in mistakes either. I do believe the universe doesn't make mistakes, and I know a lot of New Agers say that, but it's like I'm right where I need to be because I have lessons I need to learn. I haven't learned them. That's why I'm here. And it's like, you know, I found you, and I knew I wanted to have you on my podcast, and I knew everyone else I wanted to have on before that. It's kind of like, and then I'm like, should I ask her? Like, this is weird. She doesn't know me. You know, people don't. And I know it's like, oh, it ain't shit for me to walk in a store and get courage to ask someone to be in my show. But at the same time, it's like, it took courage for you to come here. You don't know me.
Yeah.
I could have extorted you or done some weird, creepy shit.
I honestly was very nervous because the way that you talked about the previous, I thought this was going to be more about, I guess, like sexual harassment. And that is very touchy.
It is.
So, like, I didn't really
want to... We can talk about that.
Definitely.
Nah. That's where you draw the line?
I was like, there's, obviously as a girl, you go through things that you may or may not have wanted to happen. And it's hard to talk about that stuff because you're always going to feel like...
a social justice warrior or something. Like you feel... Like shit because it's like people are just gonna be like, oh, she's crying wolf or
something like that.
I understand that, bruh. I understand because I feel like that too. I don't get sexually harassed. I've been sexually harassed, but like I don't give a fuck. Like I'm a guy, so I guess it's a little different. But I mean, people can even pull that out of context. But yeah, I've been in some situations.
But when it happens, you have to stand up for yourself, or else. Like, if you don't stand up for yourself when it happens, they're just going to keep doing it. So, and I'll give you a small example. Not a great one, but when I was in Paris, we were like going up the Eiffel Tower, and there were classes with like elementary school kids. Or maybe it was like middle school. Like these kids were definitely going through puberty or something because this one kid kept looking at me, and I was wearing a mesh top, which is literally see-through, but like mesh is in, so, and he was obviously had a problem with like seeing me. I mean, I wasn't naked. I had like I was covered, but I had a mesh shirt on. And so this little 12-year-old twerp came up to me from behind when I was like sightseeing over the balcony and like touched my butt. And I like whipped my head around and I was like, you. And I walked straight up to his teacher. This lady barely spoke any English. Like, and I don't know French. I only know Italian, so it was very hard. But luckily she had a student aide who spoke English, and I was like, that kid right there touch my butt. That is wrong. That is bad. And then she just went off on him in French in front of his whole class. And I was like, thank you. Don't ever do that again. Like, you can't.
I've never ever heard of a little kid doing that.
Because they think it's funny, like...
Or I think it's also popular culture. Because they see this stuff on the TV. They see, like, all these people in, like, scag clothing, or, like, people that, like, just do, like, where the hero just grabs the girl and makes out with her because it's, like, okay. And I'm not trying to roast popular media, because I watch fucking Marvel movies. I watch all that cool shit. But, you know, at the same time, he's 12.
Yeah.
So it's, like, it's creepy. It's fucking weird. And he needs to learn from it, 100%. Yeah. But I don't think he should go to jail or anything.
No. But I'm sure it was like that. He and his friends like, oh, I dare you. I dare you.
100%. And then him getting blown out by the teacher, that was sufficient. That's sufficient as fuck.
So.
Because he's going to feel that. And then she probably told his mom too, so.
And also, all the other kids saw it and they were like, shit, we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, and it's almost like, so it's the thing that my friend that you were just talking to, it's kind of like people feel like, oh, since I wear tight jeans or you have a mesh shirt on, they're like...
It doesn't matter what I'm wearing.
First off, yeah, that doesn't matter. And that pisses me off too. Because old girl that you work with now, that used to work at with me, she, like, everyone would give her shit about that too. And I'm like...
Why does it matter?
I know. And people give me shit about that, and then that little kid give you shit. It's like... Y'all are so worried about us. Like, just worry about yourself.
You should be more worried if you have a problem with what I'm wearing. Mm-hmm. If you're concerned about, like, you know, how does me wearing this whatever upset you? Unless I'm literally naked.
And even then,
like, it shouldn't bother you.
It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it's like... Oh.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, and you're, you know... Okay, maybe the naked is a little over the top, but, you know.
But, I mean...
That's because it's just nudity, but...
People are sensitive, I think.
Mm-hmm. I just don't like when they project, like, what you can and can't do because they don't do it or they wouldn't wear it. So it's like... It's they like you said...
Or it makes me feel uncomfortable. And I've felt that in the workplace as well. Not in my current job because I work for a clothing store, so I can style myself however I want to. But while I had an internship, I wore a dress one day that was fingertip length, but not knee length. And the other women in the office, not even my boss, not even people on my team, but another woman in the office who was pregnant told me that I was dressing inappropriately and that I should stop wearing high heels because it makes my legs look too long. And from that day on, I wore flats because I was petrified, like, this woman is going to, like, tell on me or not give me a recommendation letter. Not even that she was my boss, but just make me look bad because I wore high heels to my internship. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
That is crazy. So women on women is a thing, too.
Yes.
Because when I think of sexual harassment, I always think it's just man on girl and the girl's uncomfortable, but... Women can be fucking bitches, too.
Oh, yeah. Especially if they feel... Like, if I were pregnant and I saw a much younger, you know, cute girl walking around...
Trying to say you're cute.
In, like, little high heels, I would probably say, ugh. You know, like, I don't like that she's getting attention or something like that, and maybe say something to her.
It's her insecurities projected onto you.
Yeah. Like, my boss didn't say anything to me, so why are you saying something to me? Mm-hmm. Like, I wasn't wearing anything out of dress code. I just happened to, like, I don't know. I guess she was staring at my legs. I don't know.
Yeah.
But...
No, you just presented two things to me, and I've never even thought about the woman on woman. I've never thought about the little kid who's just trying to be cool for his friends. I've never looked at it like that. That's a really good point of view.
You're only thinking about, like, creeps who are the same age as the girls.
No, I've even been considered a creep. Like, I had to take this one down because when I did talk about it, like, I had an instance where I just made some comments to a girl that I work with, and she's told on me, and I didn't really get in trouble like that, but I didn't know this. It's all about knowing your audience, and I didn't. And I don't even think I said it was bad. Like, I do believe girls do cry wolf sometimes, and I do think that gives bad rep for the girls that actually have serious issues. But like, this one girl, man, it was so dumb. But my manager will be like, "Oh, did you have to use olive oil to get those jeans on today?" And then I'm like, "That's like, you're saying that, you're my manager, like you."
Yeah.
And then so if I'm like, "So do you have to use olive oil to get that shirt on?" Because she's heavy set and she has big, like, voluptuous boobs. If I said that, if I said, "Do you have to use olive oil to get that shirt on?" would that be inappropriate? Because you just said that. But you said this shit to me, so apparently it's not. I don't know. I think that when you work at a place that has the culture of, like, everyone just talks shit to everyone all the time, which is at my job.
Yeah. When
someone draws the line, everyone peels back and attacks that person.
Oh, because they don't want to get attacked.
Yeah.
Like a witch hunt.
Or once one person cries wolf, or you could say they're not crying wolf, it just depends on how you feel. People will give you that negative, the thing that you said you're worried about. You don't want people to just be like, "Oh, she's an SJW, like, she's just saying this because she doesn't feel like..." I do understand, like, I made a girl feel uncomfortable, that shit, but I don't... Can I tell you?
Sure.
Okay, it was just... I met this girl, she just worked at Barcelona. I've only known her for a day, so I could see why she might be a little creeped out. But I got her number, and, like, we were really flirty, and I gave her some Brussels sprouts, which were, like, some pie... We have crispy...
What the hell? We
have crispy Brussels sprouts on our menu, and I just gave her one.
I was there yesterday.
Where?
Inman Park.
That's fucked up. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna block that out. Why'd you go there and not?
I don't know.
You don't think, bruh. Your mind.
Well, I don't know. I didn't want to, like, impose.
You wouldn't impose? I told you I'd hook you up if you came.
Okay.
We're friends now. You're on my fucking show. No, so this girl came. Was cute. I don't like her now at all. Like, I think once you get to know people, you don't like them. It's weird. But sometimes you do, but sometimes you don't.
That's how life is.
Yeah, it really is. Damn, hashtag swag. And I'm like, "Hey," I gave her some Brussels sprouts. I got her number, and I'm texting her later, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you gotta pull the
If he doesn't give me Brussels sprouts, it's not a match."
I said, "How were the Brussels sprouts?" Because she just kind of left, like, without saying bye. And you're like, "Oh, they were so good."
Damn, you eat my Brussels sprouts and leave?
I know, it's fucked up. You gotta pull the rope.
I don't pull the rope.
Yeah, just pull the rope. Pull the rope. Nice.
Oh.
Aren't you, like, fancy? How are you not? How do you not know how to open an IKEA fucking water?
I don't know. Glass? Usually other people open things for me.
Aww. You've been baby. No, so
Brussels sprouts are the key to a woman's heart.
These are crispy Brussels sprouts with a Verjus gastrique, which is a reduction.
Whoa.
It's a sherry gastrique. So it has this, like, I don't know if you ever had sherry, but it's actually fire.
I think I have once.
You went to Inman. Their food is pretty good, actually. But we have their old chef, so you got to come to where we are. And we were texting, and I said, "How are the Brussels sprouts?" Blah blah blah. And she was like, "Oh, they were so good." Blah blah blah. And then I said, "I'm for dessert." And I didn't know. Thoughts? 5 words or less.
If a guy said that to me, I just probably wouldn't respond.
Mm-hmm. She didn't respond. I said LOLJK after like 5 minutes. She didn't respond. I said LOLJK. You gotta cover your tracks.
Yeah.
And then she hits me up. She doesn't hit me up. Okay, so this festers in her for like a month because I don't talk to her. I'm like, okay, she didn't respond. She's not feeling me. It's all good. And then our general manager quits and goes to... He doesn't quit. He gets sent to Inman Park, the other one. And you already said Inman, so... He gets sent to the other one, and we get the one from there, and he comes in, and he's new. He's super chill. Me and him are really close. The minute that we get a new GM, she goes to him, and she says, "Hey, I'm really uncomfortable. I feel like Bryant, blah, blah, blah. My name is Mowgli at the job because I used to have long hair, and they think of me as some Jungle Book character." and she's like, I think Mowgli made a pass at me upstairs in the locker room, and he also made some comments to me earlier, and I just feel really uncomfortable, and I feel like he feels uncomfortable too, and I just want to like address this as adults. And I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb, or like, because guys are just considered the dumb dad in the soap opera that just watches TV all day.
Yeah.
While the kids like have a real life, and the wife is like smart. And I didn't even think about this at all. I thought like, this shit is over. It's been a month. She started working here. Me and her, we don't really talk. If it's work related, we talk about it. Like, I need this because I do expo, so I check the I can't think of the word. I check the consistency of the food, and she'll come up to me and she'll be like, hey, I need this, or I need the hanger steak cooked medium well instead of medium rare or something. And I'll be like, oh cool, I got you. And never had any issues. And then we get a new manager, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. Maybe she doesn't want the new manager to like me or something. I'm thinking she's just like out to get me for some reason. And I don't know. I think people just have that fight or flight response sometimes. And so we're having this conversation, and I'm like, I don't understand why you dress this now. And she felt like I made a pass at her. I don't remember ever making a pass at her ever. I don't even talk to her. So I don't know how, but maybe I just made her feel uncomfortable. I don't know. I guess I wanted your take on that. I texted her some weird shit.
But you never actually did something in person?
I never, ever. I don't feel like I ever did. But I know I would. I know if I wouldn't even do that. I would never.
Do you have a flirty personality, though?
If the girl's cute, yeah. Obviously.
I mean, sometimes you just can't help it.
What does making a pass mean? Is that physical?
In my
eyes, I never
eyes,
touched this girl.
Well, definitely physical with me making a pass. But if someone were to say something that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's making a pass. Like the I'm for dessert. Mm-hmm. If you said that
in poor taste, I understand.
Like, that would be making a pass. Or like, I don't know, something about seeing you later, or watching you serve is...
It's because she doesn't know me, or she doesn't like it. Because if she liked it, it wouldn't be sexual harassment or harassment at all. If she liked it, if she was like, oh yeah, yeah, I'd love to have you for dessert. That's not harassment, right? It's knowing your audience. I didn't know her. This was her first day.
Okay, so if you said something like that to her and she liked it, but a third party watched, do you think they would think that is sexual harassment? So you're thinking, oh, she likes it.
Yeah, but I can't account for the third party, because the third party...
But what you were saying, it's not sexual harassment if she likes it. I'm saying it's sexual harassment whether or not she likes it.
What if you're at a bar and a dude just says like some crazy shit about your titties and you like it, but I'm right beside you and I'm like, that's weird.
Then you
That's
just
sexual harassment to me, but to you it's not.
You witnessed sexual harassment.
You really think that?
How I react is, my own business, but sexual harassment is like watching the harassment happen, whether or not the person enjoys it or reacts well. It's still harassment. Like, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but like, it's possible to harass someone into talking to you or liking you. You know what I mean? Like
coming to your job and ask you to be on my podcast?
Not even like that, but just like...
DMing you on Instagram?
It, like, literally saying whatever so many times that you finally, like, okay.
Like asking a girl out repeatedly, like she keeps saying no, but you're... Give me a good example, because I'm dumb, apparently.
Okay.
I can't pick up
on
this.
I guess...
Being persistent is harassment?
Harassment is, yeah. Persistence? I don't know, because people perceive it differently, but...
Non-needy persistence, I would say, isn't harassment. But if you're being needy, I think it is. Girls are vague. Girls are so hard to understand. Girls are not blunt. If y'all were just like, we don't fuck with you, get the fuck away from me, that'd be like a blessing for some guys to hear.
Right, but instead we just ghost you.
Yeah. And that was the issue that I had with my old podcast that got taken down. Like with Sophie, we were talking about essentially, the guy that was in here earlier, she said was stalking her. And she kind of gave out some examples, and we were like, but then I had Jay on, and Jay said he drove 2.5 hours to go to this girl's job, took a picture with her cousin and her mom because she wasn't at her job, but her cousin and her mom were, and they ended up dating for 2 years. So he says that, like, even if girls say something, it doesn't he still puts the foot on the gas. You've had a guy?
I have had a man who was interested in me while I was in a relationship. Then once we took a break, he like attempted to, talk to me again, and then I got back on with the guy, and then he like kept trying to talk to me. I had to block him because he was so persistent. And then once we broke up again, I added him back on like all different platforms.
Oh, that was when he was like,
I know. I shouldn't have done that. But I was like, oh, sad and single, so might as well get some attention from this psychopath. And he...
Did he end up being a psychopath?
Yes, but I didn't realize until like a month after seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
So like he harassed me into going onto a date with him. Or actually, going on the date wasn't that bad, but it was like the persistence that you're talking about. You can actually make someone like you until you realize that they're crazy. Because this guy was like...
You probably have to be crazy. I thought you were going to say he was waiting for you outside. He was just waiting for you in a relationship. I don't think that's that bad. I do understand that he's hitting you up on some creepy shit.
But like waiting for me, he was like... Emily, I
like
was
his whole
waiting
life.
for you. Like,
and he's telling you that?
And then, like, after maybe...
I can see if it was just, like, some nonchalant, like, oh, Emily's single. Let me try with her again.
And then, like, after, like, 3 or so weeks of us talking, he's, like, blackout drunk, tells me that we're going to date and then we're going to get married and, like, all this stuff. And I was like, you're crazy. I have to go. And then...
He was drunk. You can't judge a dude for what he says when he's drunk.
Yeah, but also he had a drinking problem, so I was like...
So he's always drunk.
Yeah.
Is that that one guy that you meet?
No.
Okay.
The guy that you're thinking of was the one that I was dating, and then during the off periods was this man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so interesting. So do you think that's bad that he was super persistent? Because you signed, you know what you signed up for, and you still hung out with him.
I was very flattered, and...
It was also that you were in your feelings.
Yes. So when you're, like, after a breakup, you're like, ugh, like, nobody loves me, whatever, and then some person shows you some love, and you're like, Prince Charming has come to save me from my depression, and then, like, you're having fun... But then once you get to know them, you're like, fuck, this person is not right for me. But thanks for getting me out of that bad place, and now I know I can date again.
Yeah.
So.
Some guys are going to be watching this taking notes, like, okay, so I guess I can't. You know someone's going to be thinking that and watching this. But that's cool. No, I mean, so there's like this big infrastructure in like the dating world, and there's this leeway that's like, I guess it just depends on the girl, the situation. It depends on, like, so many factors.
Yeah.
But it could, so, like...
You could be harassed into dating someone.
Yeah. That's cool, though. I mean, someone liked you that much to really just put their whole life into you. What type of guys do you like?
Okay, so this is, like, how I describe it to my friends. Tall, dark, handsome, because... I like to date people who look similar to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, physically, tall, dark, attractive, and then some...
Not to call out the dude that I work with, but he doesn't seem very tall.
He's not.
And in terms of dark, he's pretty light.
No, he's dark.
What do you mean by dark? What does dark mean? Because dark doesn't mean, like...
Like, I have olive skin tone... when I'm tan, because I'm Italian, so, like, dark hair, you don't necessarily have to have dark eyes, because I don't, but, like, dark features, like, I guess that you can tan or that you have dark hair and just that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But also power. I do like power.
Power, as in, break that down, because JP actually, this is cool. It's cool you brought up power because JP talks about power. There's power that's like authority and competence, and then there's power that's like tyranny, where you try to get over on people to be powerful, but that doesn't end up working in the long term. But then there's power where it's like you're confident, you're conscientious, you have authority, like people actually respond to like you, the universe responds to you because you're like out there actually trying to do stuff.
Mostly that.
Yeah.
That
Obviously you're not going to say the other one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So.
But what do you mean by it?
I don't know. I think all the men that I've ever dated, they have some sort of power, whether it's a position that they hold or a power over other people that they have, or like, I don't know. But
yeah. I could see people taking that as shallow though and being like, oh, so this girl, Emily, she's just...
It's not that I'm
she
looking
wants guys
for
that
it.
Are rich, like, you know what I mean? Or like some guys that like own
not
businesses.
even that. Not...
I understand you have... I know.
You don't even have to be rich, but as long as you can like
I know what
command a room and, you know, that
you have this
you're
essence
strong and confident and you don't need things, but you yourself, you have something in you that makes you powerful. So
yeah, that's cool. I think it's good that people know what their quote unquote type is, because like for so much of my life I was like, oh, I don't have a type, or like I don't care. And it's like, if you don't specify your goals for success, then you don't specify your goals for failure.
Yeah.
So you can't know when you failed, and that's easier because it's low resolution and it's like, oh, whatever. But if you specify what you actually want, then you know when you don't want, and you know when you have what you don't want, and then it's like,
That's true.
But yeah, that's interesting. I like that you say that, power. So we've been going for a while. What do you want someone to take away from this, us watching this, about? Because so I had you on. I think you're an alpha female. You may or may not think that. It's okay if you don't.
I just don't like to think that, because I like to think that I'm a really nice person and I like to care about other people.
It's too prideful. Yeah, you don't have hubris.
Yeah, I don't want to like be like, yeah, everybody listens to what I say. Everybody does what I want to do.
But there's something incredibly sexy about a girl who just is like her thought, like she has power, like you said.
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's like girls, I don't know if I'm just saying this to say it, but because it sounds good, but I'm really not. Girls that just only rely on their looks, and like that would get them far as fuck if they look really good. And then there's girls that like have looks and they don't rely on them. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to rely on them, but I just think it speaks volumes about them. Yeah,
I think there's also like, you have to be interesting. Like, you have to. Guys have, or exes have told me, I've tried meeting other girls, but no one is like you. And I'm like, but I know you're like trying to talk to that gorgeous girl. And they're like, but nobody's like you. And I'm like, I think some girls...
These are also exes, but...
Yeah, right? They're also exes, but I think sometimes when girls are too focused on just like showing up and looking good and not like being, like, I would rather someone want to be with me and who I am instead of just like stand next to me and like have me as a prop.
Yeah.
Being a prop and being the, you know, conversation, being the excitement of the party, being like the interesting thing is better than just like being a prop. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Bro, you definitely should start your own podcast. Why not? I mean, what do you want to do? When it's all said and done, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? You're
Honestly,
good at talking.
I am like trying to figure that out every day.
Everyone is. That's why you gotta like, this is like, you gotta like orient yourself to something. And then like, you know, it'll change as shit happens.
But also, I think if I were to talk about
You don't have to just talk about stories. That's too
well, talk
not
about
broad enough.
Obviously good things, but bad things too. Like, I just talked about drugs on your podcast, and I have no idea who could see this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that scares me because I don't want future employers, my parents, my grandma, like anyone to be like, damn, Emily is so bad. Or friends who have been in the stories. Like, there's one story that I wanted to tell you, but it was very embarrassing, so I didn't want to say it on camera. But I something embarrassing happened, and the other people who were around me had no idea because I kept it a secret. And then if they found out, like, because I told this story on my podcast, I would feel like I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel like there's certainly stuff
it's
I can't.
Permanent, you know what I mean?
And then it's like, but I don't, so there's so many different variations you can take on this, because I've thought about this for a long time, definitely after shooting that really, this is something that's like happening to me recently.
Wait, can we take a break? I really have to pee.
Yeah.
Sorry. To know everything that
Yeah, can you close the door?
What? Oh, yeah.
I just don't want to hear. I just don't want that go. Yeah, so no, this is something that's happening right now in my life currently, like legitimately, because I've had a lot of time to think about this. I was like, would someone else, so Sophie hit me up and asked me to take out her podcast. I don't want her to get fired. I don't want any like negative stipulations to happen.
Yeah.
But I also do think not like speaking, it's not safe to speak.
It is. It's so hard to like.
But it's not safe. It's even more not safe not to speak.
That's true. Like I was saying with the sexual harassment thing.
Yeah.
You have to.
People bottle that shit up. Like that's what happened with the girl that I was talking to you about, where it was like a month later.
Yeah. Like
things fester if you don't get them off your chest, and then it's also like.
But for me, it's like obviously I like being an authentic person. So I was comfortable telling you this story, but I'm sure if my parents heard this, they'd be pissed that I smuggled drugs internationally and went crazy with my friends.
Yeah, it sounds bad when you say it like that.
Right? But then but like in my mind, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it was fun. I did a thing. I'm safe. I'm alive. I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who cares?
Yeah. No, definitely. You need to take risks in life.
But then, like, if you were to ask an employer, they'd be like, nope. Next.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
It's like what matters more? It's like your job or like you being yourself?
Well, I like money, so...
No, I know you like money, and it's easy to just say that. It's easy to, like, if you don't have a job, it's easy to, like, talk about all these people that, like, oh, you're held down by your corporation. It's like, bro, I'm making money. I'm supporting my family. It's such an easy, like, position to take, bruh. So it's hard. It's a double-edged sword. And it's also, like, is what you're saying, like, really, like, resonating with people? Like, what if you are actually, like, helping a girl out? Like, maybe there's a girl who's, like, is scared to take a leap of faith, or just not even a girl, anyone is scared to like do something different, like buy a ticket to somewhere, travel, go to a festival, do something crazy. Like maybe their life has been so orderly where they haven't experienced anything that you've experienced, and like I don't want to say you're raising awareness for being lit, but like you are. And but, like, is that more powerful than you not doing it?
I don't know. I mean, I think everyone should like take these risks and go and experience the world. And sometimes I do feel bad, even though there are people my age who have way better jobs than I have, who are making so much money.
Mm-hmm. How old are you?
24.
Oh.
So
that's cool.
Why?
I thought you were so much younger.
Really?
I'm happy you're 24. Oh yeah, I thought you were like 21.
Oh.
Okay. How old am I?
23?
Yeah, exactly on the money.
But
thank God you're 24. Fuck.
You think I have graduated?
You said I just graduated.
A year
kind
ago.
of a big deal.
I never said
I know, but it was
I would
implied.
never
It was
admit
implied.
to being a big
I do
deal.
economics and like Italian and like I just know everything about Italy. I go there every year.
But I did. I
No,
did those
that's cool.
things.
Yeah, you did. You're right.
Anyway, enjoy life. Do as many experiences as you can while you're young and you're not tied down to a house, a
Mortgage.
job, a family. Like, all those things will come in time, but before, you have to explore, find yourself, find out what you like to do, who you like to be around, and what makes you happy, and do it.
It's like I want to bring this up really quick, but I've been following this dude, and I know it seems like I'm sucking this fucking dude's dick, but he's really like helped me. Like the whole reason I started this podcast is kind of because I'm just like trying to figure things out. Like that's why I'm talking. I'm interested in people. I mean, I like talking. I mean, you're here. This shit's fun. It's like. So basically, like this dude does a series of lectures on the Bible, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Bible, if you know what that is, written by Jesus. He's like, so Abraham, like God's first commandment to Abraham is like to go out of thy country, get out of thy house, like away from thy kindred, into a land that I will show thee. He kind of talks about, Abraham's 85 years old, and he's been in his house his whole life, and it's kind of like, it's more important for you to go through, like, you're going to leave your house, right? And your car is going to break down. A bunch of stupid shit's going to happen to you. But it's like, it's worth the journey. Like, overcoming whatever you need to overcome is worth it more than you just staying at home and not doing anything.
Yes. Staying, like, not changing.
And I feel like that's the underlying message.
It's not okay to stay the same. I mean, like, you can, of course, but you'll never grow if you, like, a rock will stay the same forever, but a plant will grow and it'll go through different changes, die, like come back to life, all of that sort of, not come back to life, but like, you know how like the leaves fall and then new ones grow. Like you're constantly changing and going through different chapters of your life where you are maybe going through something hard where you die, like the leaves fall off, and then something makes you grow and change and new leaves sprout. So that's how everything else in the world is. Humans should be that way too.
That's fine. That's a good message. Thanks for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Because it's like, I made you come here and like, you don't know it. And it's just refreshing to see that like, you took this risk.
I did.
And like you said, you told a story that you might not be too...
I am not happy with telling that story. But, like, what...
My parents don't even know I drink. My parents don't watch this. They don't. They think I'm goody two-shoe. And I am not. But, they don't... I grew up in a Christian home. You said you grew up Catholic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up really Christian. And, like, I didn't even lose my virginity until I was 22. And that's a whole different story. But...
You should be on your podcast.
I'm on it. But it's just kind of like, it's like, you make this like abstinence contract with God, and you think Jesus is watching you, and then it's like you can't ever experience anything because you don't want, like, oh, I can't go out with my friends because Jesus is watching me. And it's just some skewed perception of like basically staying at home so you don't do anything, so that nothing bad happens, when the Bible, I feel like, is like not even about that. I feel like
you have to make mistakes so that you can learn from them.
You're saying it was a mistake for me to...
No. What I'm saying is, like, they don't want you to make any mistakes, so you staying at home, like, will prevent you from making mistakes. But if you do make mistakes, then you learn from those mistakes and you grow because of it. I have definitely made mistakes.
No way.
And, like, now I know, okay, maybe don't do that next time.
Yeah.
But, you learn from those things, so it helps you. But if you're a shut-in, you're obviously not going to make any mistakes. You're probably going to be really safe and healthy, but you won't have any experiences.
Do you have any shout-outs you want to do?
I don't know. I guess my mom. I love you so much, and I'm sorry if I disappointed you.
Mm-hmm. Hey. Thank you.